What's your Tyler's back with the Retro Reviews here on Tyler's Retro Reviews with No Way Out 2006. Now, we're going into March, and we don't know all the reviews for March, so you always know what next week is going to be. It's another No Way Out. It'll be 2007, so we get all those done going into like Ruthless Aggression era WrestleManias and all that, which you obviously know what they are. And there's that. Anyways, it was a February 19th, which was a SmackDown only event at the first Marriott Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. It was used to be called the Baltimore Arena, but then they changed and all that. They always done that like all these arenas. So yeah. Anyways, let's talk about No Way Out 2006 on here. Um, this was excuse me, a solid pay-per-view. You had your two main matches on here, and we'll get to one of the most one of them. We'll get to it. Started with the Cruiserweight Open for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, and it was Gregory Helms defeats Brian Kendrick, Funaki, Kid Cash, Nocio, Paul London, Psych Usis, Sky Twilight, and Super Crazy to retain the Cruiserweight title, and it's just a multi-person type match. And around this time, the Cruiserweights were not being spotlighted on SmackDown that much afterwards. They are usually on Velocity or on SmackDown house shows. And that's unfortunate, though. And the unfortunate part is the belt will be deactivated by 2007, when Hornswoggle was the last one until they revived it, and then it was deactivated again. And that's unfortunate. So there's that. There's a 6 out of 10, I'll give it. Anyways, then JBL defeats Bobby Lashley. Before then, Finlay and Bobby Lashley were brawling in the ring and all that. And then JBL comes out, and this match happened. And keep in mind, 1 year prior, JBL was in the WWE Championship at this event. 1 year later, he's in the second match against Bobby Lashley and all that. But JBL did his best in this match, but you could tell he was winding down. And by after WrestleMania, he was the U.S. champion. We'll get to that by WrestleMania 22. And then afterwards, he was retired the first time around by Rey Mysterio. And then the second time he came back to the ring, he was retired by Rey Mysterio again. And all that. And there's that. A 5 out of 10 I'll give it. And that's that. Anyways, then Matt Hardy and Tatanka defeats Eminem in a non-title match. Fans were expecting Jeff Hardy to come back, but not yet. And when I say not yet, I meant the Raw after SummerSlam, which I already did SummerSlam 10-6 2 years ago and all that. So, yeah. Unfortunately. So, yeah, that's unfortunate about that, This is a okay tag match, but still, the tag titles were not defended. I think it was on the back date. It says it's for the tag titles. No, maybe here is an error. Please. Yeah, but it's not really. Whatever. This is a 5 out of 10 also. And then we get for the United States Championship, Chris Benoit defeats Booker T by submission to win back the United States Championship. This rekindling the feud started after I believe it was by No Mercy, where Booker T turns heel after No Mercy. Then Booker won the U.S. title, and then they do the best of 7 series, where Booker won a Survivor Series, and then two other times, and Benoit won more of them. But then Booker got hurt during it, and he at a substitute where Randy Orton was in it, and then Orton was owed a U.S. title shot at Booker T, which lol, it didn't happen. And then Benoit got another shot at this, and Booker tries to get away from this match and all that, but when Booker tries to leave and all that, and Benoit calls him a coward and all that, and the match happened. This was honestly a great match. I mean, way special between Booker T and Chris Benoit. They always have great chemistry together, whether it be here in WWE or in WCW. Um, yeah, fun U.S. title match. Benoit won the title. Did not last long with the title, unfortunately, because he would drop it at WrestleMania to JBL. Random. But more on that when I do WrestleMania 22 in 2 months from now. Or mostly a month and a half from now, because February's almost up and all that. But still. I give it as an 8 out of 10, There's that. And then we get the match to determine the number 1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 22. Before I get to it, Rey Mysterio won the 2006 Royal Rumble, which it wasn't originally supposed to be Rey winning the Rumble. It was originally supposed to be Randy Orton. That's the second time they wanted to have Randy Orton win a Royal Rumble until 2009. But when Edgar passed away, they changed their mind to Rey Mysterio, who won it from the number 2 spot. Then, right after the Royal Rumble, the infamous Eddie's in Hell's promo from Randy Orton, where Orton baits Rey into a match for his title opportunity at WrestleMania, which... And then the infamous moment where Orton says, Eddie ain't in heaven, Eddie's down there, in hell! That you can't say that in 2026. That's all I have to say. And Randy Orton defeats Rey Mysterio. This led to nothing because Rey got into the world title match afterwards at WrestleMania. Like, Rey should have won this. Like, if you're gonna do this match, don't put the title opportunity on the line in this match. And just it was fucking tasteless in 2006. It's still fucking tasteless 20 years later and all that. 6.8 out of 10. It could have been. I would have given it a better grade if Rey won the match, but he didn't win the match. Orton says, I'm going to WrestleMania, and you? Like, Anyways, we get the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship. Match of the fucking night. Kurt Angle defeats The Undertaker to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. The match that was claimed too good for WrestleMania. Quotation marks. So Angle won the title on SmackDown prior to Royal Rumble 06. We all know the rumor was supposed to be Batista versus Mark Henry at the Rumble. But then Batista got hurt and vacated the title and all that. So Angle was basically put in his spot. And Angle won the Battle Royal and won the title. Then he fought Mark at the Rumble, which was the main event, which was kind of a weird choice. But the reason why, because The Undertaker came back after a sabbatical, after, Bob Orton had epilepsy or something. Undertaker to say that John Laurinaitis is a fucking moron. All it was just to set up this match. If this happened at the Rumble, it would have been better. But regardless of it, great main event match. It did put the get rid of the bad taste out of everyone's mouths at least. The finish was kind of unique in a way. Angle pinned Undertaker when he was in the triangle choke, the precursor to Hell's Gate. And Angle won the match like that, and Undertaker says, "I'm not done with you yet." And they had their rematch a week later or something like that, and Mark Henry cost Taker the match. That set up their casket match at WrestleMania 22. And all that. But regardless of it, 8.5 out of 10, And yeah. So there's that. Overall it was a solid pay-per-view. A 6. Yeah, 6.5 out of 10 I'll give it. Yeah. So anyways, next week will be No Way Out 2007 to start out the March reviews, like I said. A big tag team main event here between the two championship matches for WrestleMania 23. And we'll be doing all that. March will be that. Destination X 2006. TNA Victory Road 2011. And ECW Guilty as Charged 2001. So, yeah. And then the rest of my reviews will be afterwards. That's 21, 22, and 23. And there's that. And there's SmackDown will be tomorrow. And then Elimination Chamber 2026 will be Saturday on my main channel. So it's very clear you can spell that one in there. Bye-bye.